And welcome back to another video. One that's very delayed, for not my fault this time. Let's start the video, because this is going to be a long one, and I've got a lot of explaining to do, so. Okay. So, to start off, this is the sculpt of the speed paint from probably 2 weeks ago now, because I have run into a lot of stupid fucking computer problems. Not because of this sculpt, but because of my computer itself. Specifically, I found out it was DaVinci. If you follow me on Twitter, you have seen the whole range of everything going on there. Which, if you're not following me on Twitter, why the fuck not? Anyways, but... So, this is a speed sculpt of the paint that I did, probably the last speed paint that I did, of my friend's character, X51 Gamma, who is a cute, adorable little baby robot that they do art of fairly regularly. So if you want to see more of said cute baby robot, their links will be in the description below. Both their Twitter and their Tumblr. And my friend makes a lot of really great art, and I love them, and I love all their robots and all their characters. They make a lot of really cute characters, and they do a lot of art of them, so, you know, go give them some love, and go look at their robots. So, they asked me to do a... Technically, they just asked me to make the outfit for X51, but I kind of knew... My music isn't... But I kind of knew that That's loud. I knew I wouldn't be able to do, like, just the outfit on VRoid clothes themselves. And so I knew, specifically to do the ribbons at the top, I would probably have to do it sculpted out of hair, which means editing in Unity, which meant, you know, they wouldn't be able to edit it in VRoid afterwards, you know, to do all the rest of it. So, I mean, if they wanted to do all the Unity editing and whatnot themselves later, they could have. But I wanted to make things as easy as possible because they're a very good friend to me. I love them. And so I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it! I'll make the whole, you know, avatar. So I did all of X51. So that's one of the reasons this video is so much longer than my normal sculpt, is because there's more than just clothes. And also because there was a lot of complex stuff that I needed to do for the outfit. Because realistically, the actual, like, the hair took a little bit, but most of the body stuff at the start before I do the outfit took like an hour tops. And the entire rest of it, like the outfit and the ribbons and the hair, that was a 5-hour video. So in grand total, this entire, like, this whole project took me like 8 hours. And the fact that I managed to get 8 hours down into 30 minutes, I am a boss. But anyways, so I decided to do the whole avatar. So I did, you know, their cute little face. They have such a cute little face. I really love my friend's characters. Like, they make such good characters. This entire video is just gonna be me, like, simping for my friends. But that's how it be sometimes. So anyways, so what was I talking about? Yeah, right. The reason this video is so delayed is because I have been running into problem after problem after problem with my computer. It has nothing to do with the length of this video or the complexity of this character, which I did get to do some cool, neat new stuff. So I was actually really excited to do this because there was a lot of new stuff that I was gonna have to do, which you'll see later on. But no, my computer was having issues. Like, so at the beginning of every month, I do a data, or, you know, I back up all my stuff on my hard drive, because, you know, that's the smart thing to do. But for some reason, what normally took 2 hours took 8. was gone on the 1st of the month. So it threw the entire rest of the week off because I couldn't get, you know, Monday's work done because Monday was gone, which meant Tuesday's work got, you know, backed up. So everything got backed up. And then but, you know, I managed to get caught back up. And I actually finished this sculpt on Wednesday. Like Wednesday night, Thursday morning at some point. Time is weird when you're on a night schedule. But I got it finished, like, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and I sent it over to them, and I'm like, yeah, it's done, and I'm like, cool, I have a lot of footage to edit, so I need to go edit that, and I'm like, okay, you know, working in DaVinci, I was like, I'm gonna need to optimize that media, that's gonna take a long-ass fucking time, I'll just do it overnight. And so I set that up to start when I went to bed, and then I woke up the next morning, and my computer was like, bro, what the fuck? You have no space left. And I'm like, excuse me? I have what? My computer wasn't even half full when I went to bed, so what the fuck was taking up that much space? DaVinci. And it turns out, it's DaVinci. Apparently, that program, as fancy as it is, and actually I guess it's probably because it's so fancy, it's not good on space management at all. It creates an absolute ass ton of cache files. Gonna have to edit that out. Thought I got all this. But anyways, it edits an absolute ass ton of... It creates an absolute ass ton of files, of cache files, that it then never deletes. And there's no in-program way to delete them. So I had... Again, if you follow me on Twitter, 300 gigs of cache files that I then had to go manually delete, which took 12 hours. So that was yet another day gone. Because it took even longer than the hard drive backup, and obviously, you know, I don't want to push my computer when it's full up, and so I'm like, I can't do literally anything for another entire day. So in the span of, you know, this week, I finished a book, I folded 2 loads of laundry within like 24 hours of them coming out of the dryer. That should tell you how bored I was. I finished my encyclopedia and Animal Crossing. I got so much shit done that I didn't want to do. Because all of this work was put on the back burner for it. And so that was really annoying, and that's why this video is gonna be out super, super late. And it's all DaVinci's fault. Shout out, or PSA, I guess, to anybody else who uses DaVinci, clear out your cache files. Because DaVinci doesn't do it. And dear God, will it fill up your hard drive. So yeah, that's my explanation for why this took so long. I had this done. I was ready to edit this. I was gonna have this out on time. But DaVinci was like, no, fuck you! But anyways, back to the sculpt itself. So one of the cool things that I got to do on specifically this section here, you can see in the drawing and in the speed paint, this section was transparent. And so I'm like, and VRoid doesn't really do transparent, like, at all. It's just like either it doesn't exist or it's solid. And I'm like, okay, VRoid's not going to be able to do this. But luckily, I know that, like the scarf, like the top ribbons, that's something that you can start in VRoid and then finish in Unity. So all of that stuff is also in here at the end of the video. You know, how to do all of that. And, yeah, I was kind of excited to do all of this because I've never done a lot of stuff there was a lot of new experimenting happening. There was a lot of stuff that I had to do on different layers, and hi, Spider. There was a lot of stuff that I had to do in Unity, and obviously I've done my tail in Unity, so I knew how to do the ribbon stuff, because that's just taking the bone structure and moving it. But I hadn't done transparency, so that was something that I had to figure out, or got to do, rather. You'll see. This video is half an hour long for me. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to talk about for half an hour. But I guess I could just kind of talk about my planning process here. Luckily, unlike my design, design pieces, I don't have to do this in multiple colors, and the colors are already figured out for me. So that made that part a little bit easier. And then, as you can see, I put the part of the ribbons, those parts of the ribbons separate from the gradient ones, and it's because the gradient ones are the transparent ones, and I knew I was gonna have to edit that separately in Unity, so I put them on their own layer. I didn't realize that they were covering up the other ribbons for a hot minute, but I figured that out eventually. That's fine, whatever. And then after that, they've got, you know, I did the shorts, and that's, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. I don't know what else to do. I already did my rant. That said, I apologize if you guys can hear noise in the background. It's not just normal my bedroom noises for once, it's raining. And the rain is very loud. But if you hear weird drippy droppy pattery things, that's not me stabbing my table for once, you know, for once. That's the rain. So we've got the main part of it done. We've got the shorts done, and so now we get to work on the new part, that is the bodysuit, which ignore their lack of chest fit. That was already like that. I didn't do that, but that's fine because, you know, that part of the body it wouldn't show under the thing anyways. And sometimes it's actually best to erase parts of the body because VRoid has a problem with clipping, especially around the arms. If you've noticed on past sculpts, a lot of times I'll erase the shoulder bits, and I actually do it on this one too. Because when you move the arms, it clips through the clothes. It's really annoying. But for now, I just work with, you know, the basic. So I don't actually know what the full underbody part looks like, because I just have, you know, my reference images to go off of that I pulled off of my friend's Twitter. Which, again, you should go follow, because they make a lot of really cool art. And they have a lot of cute robots that I love. But from what I can tell, there's like the shoulder, the pad bits around the various, you know, elbows and knees and whatnot, and, you know, kind of robot-y bits where it's like you got the full piece and then you've got the under bits, and cool, but you could see the under bits. So I tried to get as much of that as I could. Obviously, it's not like I can't move it completely like you would with like full robot, but I tried to get it as close as I could. And this was one of the other reasons that I was really excited to do this, is because I obviously haven't done like bodysuit type stuff yet. The most that I've edited skin tones and whatnot is to put like gloves and socks in and underwear, because my model figure didn't have a bra. So I had to do that, but this is the first time doing like a bodysuit type of thing. And originally I was actually going to do the shorts on the body, and then I realized I could just do the shorts on the pants. So I did that, and it actually probably looks better than it would have otherwise. That said, I did get a little lazy with the shading on the section because I was starting to get tired. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. I like how it turned. I like robots. If you guys can't tell yet, I really like robots. Especially robots that, you know, are more humanoid in nature, so androids, I guess. And my dog is smacking everything around again. And as you could tell, you saw, Hands. Instead of sculpting out shoes, I just did, like, the shoe part, the, like, little beady bits just on the skin, because the shoes in VRoid I didn't think would be flat enough to really get the effect that I wanted. So I just sculpted it right onto the skin itself. And I think that turned out pretty good. I mean, I think the toes still look kind of weird a little bit, but that's just modeling. I would have to. That was another thing, is like getting the one toe to kind of stick out. I didn't think I could. The shoes in VRoid probably wouldn't do it. Oh, it's just on the skin, which it works. So, and yeah. Just going in and shading things. But obviously with skin tones, I can't do what I normally do with clothes, in that I just, you know, multiply their layer. So I actually had to shade myself. That's terrible. But we just get some final little bits of light highlighty thing. That's pretty much done. And I think it looks pretty good. Just going in and adding some few final little details. I realized that the sleeves were a little too high, so I had to go in and fix those and shorten them up a bit. I couldn't actually get the sleeves quite how I wanted it, just because how weird VRoid clothes are. I wanted it a little more open, but then a little more fitted here, but that was just kind of the best that I could get. Hopefully it's good enough. I tried closing the top of the top in more so that it was a little more fitted, because like as it is, it's kind of huge. But and yeah, again, but the clipping in the shoulders, so I went and did that. And now for the fun part, the hair in VRoid. Well, I mean, I guess I'd do the sash part first, which is made with hair. But that's kind of like the biggest versatility of VRoid. I was actually talking to someone the other day about all the stuff all the stuff that you can and do in VRoid. And almost all of it is done with hair pieces. Everything from hats to glasses to ribbons, and just basically any extraneous thing. You know, tails, hair, ears. Any extraneous thing that's not built into the model and you can't do with like the model, the clothes itself, can be done with hair in VRoid. It takes a little bit of more editing, and sometimes you have to get a little bit outside of the built-in markers. So like you've got the sliders and they only go so far, but if you go in, you can actually go in and edit that further just by typing in the number in these things rather than just sliding the bars. And so that's how I got the ribbon as big as it is here. I made it flat, and then I made the ends flat. I think I'm actually covering that, but of me, kind of how I go. You should do. But, yeah. So, you can go in and edit both. I keep clicking off. But this little section here, you can go and move it up to change the, you know, how the edges of the pieces look, which is how you get the flat. And then, like, the top of it, you can make it... You can edit the shape a lot with this little bit here. And then you can go further outside of the sliders when that's back up by just typing in the numbers. And so that's how you can do a lot of stuff with VRoid that's not technically built to do. But you can do it. And then obviously the second part of that is going in and editing Unity so that it actually does what it's but the second part of that is you take the hair texture and you can do stuff like this. And so whatever texture or thing that you want to do that, you know, with that is you just half and half. So hair works with the half and half. So whatever pattern or drawn in thing that you want to do, you want to make sure it's on one half or the other, depending on what side it is. And so to do the ribbony bits, since it's got a different inside than it does outside, one half is the outside of the ribbon and the other half is the inside of the ribbon, and you just kind of go in and with the sliders, again, just offset. The texture offset is the slider that changes how that's located. So, right there. And then it's got these weird little bits there, because technically the ribbon's not supposed to do that, because I made it bigger, but we go in and kind of fix it. And I ended up cutting a lot of this ribbon bit out. I kept in one side, fixing in and adjusting one side of the ribbon, and then I cut the other side out, because it's the same thing. You don't need to see both sides, and I wanted to make this video. I couldn't quite get the ribbon all the way, like, against the wrap, unfortunately, and every time I tried, it just kind of fucked shit up more. So that was just kind of the best that I could do with that. But a lot of it is just drawing it out, fixing the sliders, and then going in and doing intricate, like, adjusting each little point, as you see me doing there, to make it look how you want. It's a lot of adjusting, it's a lot of fine-tuning, it's a lot of finagling, and then again, for the other side of the ribbon, I just take the texture and flip it, and then use the flip texture for that. And so now it's on to the hair. Hair is hard. Like, actual hair is hard to make it look how you want it. But again, it's just finagling, just fine-tuning, going in and just, like, really getting into the details. And so I use the procedural groups for the back of the hair, just because that's easy and there's no reason to not, because it's all pretty formal with each other. And I just do the multiple layers to get kind of the layered look of the back. And then on the front, I create separate groups for each section of hair. And so, like, I do the little side bits in its own group, and I do the freehand for this, and just kind of get these little bits in there. Then I go in and edit the texture later, but for now I just kind of keep it the general we'll do the texture. And so again, it's just a lot of fine-tune, nitty-gritty details kind of thing. Hair can be a total pain in the ass, but if you're willing to spend the time to do it, you can make it work. It's just wanting to spend that time. And adjusting and readjusting and all that stuff. And then bangs are probably the one thing that you don't want to do a mirrored image of, because like everything else, usually depending on the kind of hair that you're doing, you're pretty okay doing just mirrors. But bangs, I would definitely suggest doing those individually and offsetting the size a lot. And then we add just a little bit of cowlick, which that's easy. You just move the thing up. Shut up, phone. You move the net thing up. And then I go in, and because there's that little bit of gradient to the front hair that isn't on the back, I set it to 2 different colors, and so the front hair's bits are a separate color from the back hair bit. So the back hair is just basically a straight blue. And I just take strands and blur it, and then Woozy wets it of hair. Then we remove the base and shade colors, because that'll fuck your color up from like what you actually set it as. And then adjusting like the highlight sections and whatnot. And then we just go in and basically do the same thing for the front hair bits, which has the gradient. Just gradient it. But same basic process. Wham bam, thank you, man. And then that small little bit of highlight, which I realized while I was editing it, that thing I said about being half, I probably should have remembered myself and just done the highlight bits on half the hair rather than all the way across, but whatever. I readjust it so it looks nice, and then for the bangs specifically, I go in and readjust where the highlights are and the offset is for each individual hair strand so that it plays right. And then it's just readjusting to kind of get the layering to look how I want it. I do a lot of fixing stuff. I think it looks pretty good, honestly. I mean, just look at them. They're so cute. This cute baby. Adorable baby. They're so cute. And then obviously going in and doing the bone structures, you know, to make sure the hair moves. And again, hindsight 2020, I realized I should have done them by like the groupings rather than just letting VRoid pick a bone group, but it all bounces the same either way. Not that big. And then I just added an extra bang to this side because I realized you could kind of see it when they turned their head. Like you could see the under hair. And that kind of happens a lot for me. I don't know why, but for some reason, I always have a problem with being able to see under the hair from specific angles, and I have to go in and fix that. And so this one was, I wasn't entirely sure how to do this, because they've got these little, like, robot ear things. Again, it's something you can definitely do with hair, but someone who's better at it probably could have done it better. But I did my best. It was a lot of adjusting, and I definitely got a little lazy extra. Mostly because I was... But yeah, they, you probably saw it in the speed paint and the reference pics, but they've got these little metal ear doodly bits that are super cute, but a little difficult to make in VRoid. Doable, yes, but definitely a little bit different. But I just basically cut it in half and then put the yellow bit, which is like the inside, on there, and kind of thinned out the shadows. Again, someone who's better at like robotic stuff could probably have done this a lot better than me. But this was my first robot type of thing, so I did best. I had a little bit of trouble with this side of the year, and I don't know why. Like, it was doing weird. I don't know why it was doing. So I ended up eventually just deleting it and copying the other side and, you know, flipping it. Also, you guys have no idea how much YouTube I had to edit out of this video when I was editing it. Because, like a normal person, I listen to music while I'm working. And specifically, I listen to music on YouTube. So there's a lot of ads I have to skip. And so this is just, I don't normally show this part, but because there's so much more to the process, I showed, you know, the export process, and then you import it into Unity. So this is the editing stuff that I had, the extra stuff that I had to do that ultimately made me decide to do the bit. And that was adjusting the bone layers for everything, which I cut out an entire section of this part because I forgot to give the scarf, the ribbon bits, a bone, and so there was no bone to edit. So I cut that out, but I cut that out. But basically, you just, there's an asset that you can download, a package asset thing that you can download that lets you adjust bone layers. And then this part is the transparent, which I can't explain this very well, but basically you could just... Basically you can just, I didn't take a lot of great pics yet of that, but I do have something special that I will add to the end. But anyways, the point is, there's a couple bone weight adjustments for this and the transparency on the bottom bits. They can both be done in Unity. I cannot possibly explain it, but there's a channel on YouTube whose videos I watch constantly because she explains things very well, and that would be Argamawin. So if you want an actual explanation for how to do this stuff and the links for all of that, go search up Argamawin. She's, you know, I go to her tutorials for basically everything. So yeah, X51 Gamma, created by my friend Cyberill. They make a lot of good art. They have a lot of cute robots, including this precious baby. Their links will be in the description below. And you should go show them some love. Because again, my friends are great. But that's enough talking from me. Sorry for the delay, but hopefully all of my computer issues are done with now, and we can get back to, you know, business as usual. Bye!